Hey everyone, I'm Hazel West, indie author and book blogger, and I'm here today doing my August reading wrap up. Now, I don't know how many books I will have read by the end of the month because I'm doing this video early since I had a couple books that I need to bring back to the library, but I really wanted to have them physically with me while I did the reviews. So, anyway, the first book I read in August was The Dark Missions of Edgar Brim by Shane Peacock. This book is one that I saw in Barnes and Noble like a couple months ago, and I almost bought it, but my track record with faith buys or just like books that buying books that I haven't heard about or from anyone recently has been terrible. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy it. But instead, I got it from the library, and um, but anyway, after reading it though, I almost wish I had bought it because this was an amazing book. Ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Um, it is not what I expected at all. To be honest, like the description sounds really intriguing, but the book itself is actually so much better. Um, like the description makes you think it's going to be more of like a psychological thriller, and it doesn't even mention that it is set in the Victorian era. But what you really get is a very, very classic gothic novel, like in the strain of Frankenstein and Dracula, something that actually feels like it was written in that time period. I mean, it was so, so good. Um, like, reading this book reminded me why I love Dracula so much to begin with. Um, but anyway, the story follows a boy, Edgar, who he he's always dreamed of monsters, especially like when his father would read books out loud. Like he would almost feel like he was in the book. And that it never stopped when he got older. But apart from that, it was like so he never really knew if monsters are real or if he was just imagining it. And apparently other people had the same problem. So it's kind of I don't really want to give away too much. Um, but essentially he kind of joins up with this professor at his boys' school who believes in that it's like kind of a group of people who believe in the monsters and that all the books that were written like Frankenstein and all that were based off on actual monsters. Even Bram Stoker makes an appearance in this book, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, it is just so so good, and if you love gothic novels, I would recommend this very highly. I loved it so much. This is one of the best books that I've read for quite a while, actually. To be honest, that I haven't that wasn't like a series book or anything. All right. After that, I continued reading Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. I actually finished it because I had to bring it back to the library. So last month I showed you, or I gave you reviews for the first 4 or 5 stories, I think, and I'll go through them systematically and try to tell you a little bit about the rest of them. So the next one in there is Hide and Seek by Megan Shepherd. Um, this one, I think I probably gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The concept was actually really interesting. In fact, like about I this character Croak Alum, who is like essentially death or the harbinger of death. Um, that it says here it's from Appalachian folklore. I did a lot of research on this from the internet, and the only thing that I pulled up was this book. So I guess it's not, but I have a hard time researching folklore, which is stupid because that's the kind of stuff I like. Um, but anyway, essentially what this is this girl was stabbed to death by her evil stepfather, and um, she dies. And then Crocallum comes up, and he's like, "Well, if essentially his thing is, um, if you win a game with death, then you can get your life back." So of course she plays it. Blah blah. I'm not gonna say how it ends. It was interesting. I would have, I don't know. It kind of was like good, and then it kind of fell flat. I don't know. A lot of times I feel that way about short stories just because I want more of them. Some authors are able to really take a short story and make it something really interesting. Some people aren't quite so much. But anyway, I still enjoyed the story. The next one is The Dark, Scary Parts and All by Danielle Page. This is actually one of the few ones in this book that, of authors that I actually really like, that I wasn't disappointed with. Danielle Page wrote this story, which is based off of Frankenstein, but it also, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'll say it anyway. It's also based off the Hades and Persephone story, which I thought was totally awesome. This was a really, really neat story. I liked it. I think I gave it probably 4 out of 5 stars. There was just, it was dark, it was cool. And while technically I would normally class this as insta-love, it really wasn't, because it was just the amount of pages that happened before they fell in love, but it's a short story. And even then, it's definitely explained as to why that happened, but anyway, I liked it a lot. I actually wouldn't have minded this being a longer book, just overall, because I think it's actually a really cool idea. And anyway, I don't know, but I really liked it. The next one is The Flicker, the Fingers, the Beat, the Sigh by April Genevieve Tuchholk. I literally, or Tucholke, maybe, I don't know how to pronounce her name. But anyway, I haven't read any of her books. I've been kind of wary about them, because people said no. But this one, it actually wasn't a terrible story. Like, I mean, it was the typical one where you have a bunch of teenagers who are stupid and they kill someone, essentially. And then they get, their due punishment for that. It was actually, as a horror story, it was actually pretty well done. The characters were still stupid. I didn't really like any of them. But that's kind of expected. The story itself, though, it was very reminiscent of essentially most horror movies ever that use this plot device. So it wasn't really original. But it was fine. I gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. It was more interesting than some of the other ones in this book. And I did like that everyone essentially got what was coming to them. Okay, the next one was Fat Girl with a Knife by Jonathan Maberry. This one, I don't know. This one kind of was like, that's kind of how I felt about it. It's essentially the start of the zombie apocalypse. And I don't know, that, like, while I did like the main character, Dahlia, and I thought she was actually pretty awesome fighting zombies. I don't know, I kind of just had the feeling that her character was rather insulting. Like, I don't think it was necessarily done right. I don't know what he was trying to do with this. But I don't know. It wasn't that great of a story. And so I think I gave this one like 2 out of 5 stars, because I didn't really care about it. The next one is Sleepless by Jay Kristoff. This is actually probably one of my favorite stories in this selection. This is, oh man, it was actually really, really amazing, just the way it was written. Okay, so essentially it is about a girl who, well, I'm going to tell you the spoiler because it's just too awesome, and it'll probably make you like the story more. Essentially the girl in it, she can hear ghosts. She's like a medium. And they tell her about the person who killed them. Like, they're all victims of serial killers. And so she essentially hunts the killers down because she can't rest until the ghosts rest. But the twist is that the story is written from the point of view of the serial killer. And it is so crazy. Like, you're not going to know who anyone is to begin with, or what they're really doing. And Just the reveal, like it was so so good. And I don't know, I really really love this story. Like I don't know, I can't really explain why, but if you read it, then you'll know. It was just really well done because I was kind of like, oh, this is just a stupid story, but it's not, and I actually really want to go back and read it, reread it. But yeah, anyway, I think I actually am giving this one 5 out of 5 stars just because it surprised me so much. The next one is M by Stephen Bachman. This one was okay. It's about a blind girl. Um, it's set during. It's about a blind girl who witnesses a murder. Like she stumbles across the murdered person. It's set during like the Victorian era in a house full of guests. Oh, that's kind of cool. And she tries to help the maid figure out who did it because she can't see, but she can hear and smell the guy. Um, it kind of fell flat though. Like I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm not really sure why. It was just the ending kind of confused me too, and I have a hard time reading a girl character named Misha because I always thought it was a guy's name. I don't know, but that was just me. Um, but anyway, besides that, it was an okay story. Not one of my favorites though. The next one was The Girl Without a Face by Mary Lou. This is another one that was about stupid teenagers who did stupid things, but yet this one wasn't nearly as interesting, and I think I gave it like 2 out of 5 stars just because it was so dumb. Like, this boy was just so full of himself, and I don't feel sorry for him at all. On that note, there was a lot of, like, I don't know. There, none of the guys in this book were portrayed very well. So that kind of made me angry a little bit. The one after that was A Girl Who Dreamed of Snow by McCormick Templeman. This was a really cool one. I really like her writing style. The story itself, I wished was longer, but what was there was really cool. Um, it was kind of set in like I don't know, maybe like medievalish kind of setting. It was like a fantasy setting, but kind of tribal. I don't know. Um, but it had like creepy ancient monsters from the forest. Um, and the girl was a shaman's daughter, and she calls them up, and there's like a curse on the land, and I don't know. It was neat though. I did enjoy this. Probably gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. So I don't really have much more to say about it because there wasn't that much of it. And the one after that is Stitches by A.G. Howard. This one, this is based off Frankenstein. Um, I don't, I don't know. It was okay. I gave it about 3 out of 5 stars. It was an interesting premise. Really, really creepy, really dark. I don't know. It was just kind of. It was weird. Like, it was almost too weird for me to really enjoy. But, oh well. We'll see. I don't know. But apart from that, it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. And it was interesting. But yeah, it was really creepy. Like, I'm not really gonna give away anything about this one. It was just. I don't know. Kind of. It's like, wow, okay, you really went there. Some stories are like that. The final one is On the I-5 by Kendara Blake. Um, this one, I don't know. Again, it's about evil people getting their comeuppance, which is great. I mean, and I guess vengeful ghosts, although I could have sworn she was a vampire from the beginning. I don't know. Maybe more like a revenant. But I'm not really sure what the girl was. But that's okay. It didn't really bother me. But I do really like Kendara Blake's stories. I loved her Anna Dressed in Blood duology. I actually really would have liked a short story with Cass and his friends because I adore them and I really want to see more of them. But oh well. This one it was okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, so it wasn't terrible. And that was all for that, so I'll just do my regular wrap up at the end of the month after that. So, see you later.